Thanks. Laura, can you give an update to Jess, and then also you seem to pull, or you did pull Sam Hyatt at the end of or at the end of the first half. Is there any concern there?
Yeah, big concern about Sam. Heat exhaustion again, so we had to take her out. She was thrown up at halftime. Jess, just her hamstring was tight.
Then if I could follow up just as far as your outlook, you had mentioned before the match about them being, about Orlando being the best that you had seen. What kind of maybe gave you the most trouble today?
I thought in the first half they were the better team. I thought in the second half we actually got into the game a little bit more. What caused us the biggest problem? We were on the back foot in the first half. We didn't get on the front foot. Obviously difficult conditions again. The heat was extreme. But I thought we dug in the second half. You know, we probably had the best chance off kickoff in the first half, and goals change games. And we didn't take that one. I'd like to see the McKenzie one back that they gave offside that was then handball on a penalty that wasn't given. Some inconsistencies there on the refereeing because that happened in the first half and they let play go on. So yeah, overall just frustrated that we couldn't hold our performance to a higher standard really. But the players have been great up until now. The breaks come at a really good time for us because we are hanging on by a thread. So we need these couple of weeks to regroup physically and mentally to get back at it again, because we've dragged these players through a lot over the last 4 months. I think we've played the most games in the league with the most travel or something crazy. So yeah, the breaks come at a good time for us.
Thanks, Jada. And then next we have Ayush.
Hi, Laura. Thanks for taking my question. There are a couple changes, actually 3 changes in the back line versus 1 change up top. What was your tactic there? Did you think the team needed a little more juice at the front later on?
It wasn't tactical. Everyone needed to come out. It wasn't a tactical shift at all. Phoebe was cramping. Sam had heat exhaustion. Ryan Brown was physically struggling towards the time when she came off, so they weren't tactical. None of the changes really were tactical until we put Marley on, and they were all a necessity.
Thanks, Ayush. And then next we have Steph.
Thanks. Hey, Coach. You just mentioned, you know, the team's hanging on by a thread at times like this. You're obviously someone with experience in getting people through long seasons, even through, you know, an interruption of a World Cup. Mm-hmm. Who do you look to in your locker room for help with getting the team to kind of regroup? What's something that you found has been effective in the past in helping with that regrouping?
Honestly, it's not regrouping mentally. We're fine with that. It's as in like the loss. That's not what it's about. It's about we are struggling with injuries. We've got a lot of people who have been pushing through a lot of stuff. So the biggest thing we need is a break, and we've got one. So we need to take it and use it wisely, so that we can get players back to being fully fit. And once they're fully fit, then we can start to talk about all the other stuff. But right now, that's been the biggest challenge of late. Is, you know, I didn't know even in the warm up if people could play. That's how close they were. And then obviously Jess couldn't. Sam struggled, had to come out, like legitimately couldn't come out in the second half because she was so ill. So, you know, that's where we're at.
And then if I could follow up, we talked about the health of the players. You just mentioned all the players that you were trying to help, but for yourself and your staff, is the break also important for the coaching staff as well? Yeah, massive. Like I say, I think we've played the most games, so we're definitely up there if we're not the one that has. We've travelled a lot, and it takes its toll, you know, like it's a long season now. And because of that, because of the amount of games we've played, we have a longer break than everybody else. So hopefully that can work in our favour because we need it. And we always know this time's going to be tough when you've got a limited roster.
it's just been harder for us just because of what we've got going on with players. So the break, it will be a good time for everybody, staff included. I'm always a believer of that, always have been. Whenever we can get players time off, staff time off, so we can regroup, I always believe in allowing people just to switch off a little bit, so we can come back together after the break and hit the ground running again, because obviously we've put ourselves in a good position in the league to be able to get into the playoffs, which is the #1 target, and we've got to now turn our attention back to the Challenge Cup for a couple of games, and then we'll go again.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Steph. And then we have Aish again.
Hi, Laura. One more from me. It seemed like a really physical game. Obviously, the environment, the humidity is not easy to deal with. What are your coaching principles that you fall back on when you're going to manage an exhausting second half, a grueling second half like that?
I think we knew we had to push because we obviously needed a goal. We didn't feel like we'd been on the front foot in the first half. So we felt like we needed to push a little bit. And I thought that we did a little bit more. I thought we pushed a little bit more. I thought we moved the ball a little bit more. We were still a bit too direct, probably. But yeah, I think that's what we always talk about that. This league is that way. It's physical. You have to be able to continually be able to physically compete with your opponent, because if you don't, it doesn't matter how good a footballer you are, you're not going to be able to play in this league. It's just the way that the league is. And so I thought we hung in there. Like, I think Orlando did a really good job in the first half of creating chances, and we hung on and we kept it to 1-0. So we gave ourselves a chance in the second half, and I thought we finished the stronger side, which is credit to the players, but we just couldn't have that little bit of quality when we needed it.
Thanks, Aish. And it looks like that's going to be it for questions. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.